You know that feeling, right? That rush of panic right before you have to do something big? That feeling that just takes over? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the science of performance anxiety, and more importantly, show you how to get it under control.
It's that familiar creep of dread before a big test, a job interview, or getting up on a stage. It happens to pretty much everyone, and it starts with some very real physical signs that I bet you'll recognize.
Okay, so first up, your chest. All of a sudden, it feels like your heart is trying to hammer its way out. It's just pounding away and you haven't even moved an inch.
And then, the hands. Yep, the classic sweaty palms. It's like your body's internal engine just got redlined, even though you're just standing there.
And maybe the absolute worst part, your brain just checks out. Everything you practiced, everything you knew just seconds ago, it's gone. Poof, vanished. So frustrating.
So what is going on here? Why does our own body seem to sabotage us, especially when we're trying our best? Well, the answer isn't that you're not prepared. The answer is actually hardwired into our biology.
It all kicks off inside your brain. And I've got to stress this, it is not a sign of weakness. It's a totally normal, ancient survival response. Your brain thinks it's detected a threat, and it's going on high alert.
Deep inside your brain, there's this little almond-shaped part called the amygdala. You can think of it as your own personal threat detector. And here's the wild part. It can't really tell the difference between a lion about to pounce and a room full of people staring at you. To the amygdala, pressure is pressure.
And what sets this alarm off? Oh, it can be a whole list of things. Speaking in public, that's a huge one for so many of us. But it's also the fear of being judged, right? Or the fear of failure. It could be high expectations you've put on yourself, or maybe a bad memory from the past. Your brain flags any of these as a potential danger.
So once that amygdala sounds the alarm, your body kicks into this automatic program called the fight or flight response. It sends out a signal and boom, your system gets flooded with hormones like adrenaline. You're suddenly wired for action. That racing heart and those sweaty palms, that's just your body getting you ready to either fight for your life or run for the hills.
So okay, we get why it happens. But here's where things get really interesting. What if I told you that all that nervous energy isn't actually your enemy? What if you could make it your secret weapon? This leads us to a really cool idea called the optimal arousal theory. The simple version is this. You actually need a certain amount of stress and arousal to perform at your best. It makes you sharp, focused, and energized. The trick is finding that sweet spot.
It's kind of like the Goldilocks principle, you know? With too little stress, you're bored and unfocused, so you perform poorly. With way too much, you're panicked and overwhelmed, and your performance totally tanks. But that just right amount in the middle, that's the magic zone. That's where you hit your peak.
So yeah, it's not a straight line. It's more like a giant upside-down U. Your performance goes up and up with arousal, hits a peak right at the top, and then starts to fall if the stress gets too high. The goal isn't to get rid of the nerves, it's to stay right at the top of that curve.
Okay, that's the theory. But how do you actually do that? How do you keep yourself from tipping over the edge into full-blown panic? Well, let's open up the mental toolkit and look at some simple, powerful strategies you can start using today.
All right, here are 5 game changers. Deep breathing. It sounds almost too simple, but it literally sends a signal to your brain that says, hey, we're safe, you can calm down. Preparation is huge. The more you know your stuff, the less your brain sees the situation as a threat. Then you've got to manage that voice in your head. Change it from, I'm gonna fail, to, I am ready for this. Visualizing a great outcome is like a practice run for your brain. And maybe the biggest one of all, accept the feeling. Don't fight the energy. Learn to ride the wave.
And this brings us to the biggest mind shift we can make. The goal is not to eliminate nervousness. That's never gonna happen. The goal is to learn how to master that surge of energy when it shows up. And hey, you should know you are in very good company. Every top athlete, every famous actor, every world-class musician, they all feel it. They get nervous. The difference is they've learned how to harness that energy instead of letting it take over.
So this is the main takeaway. The next time you feel your heart start to race and your palms get sweaty, don't think, oh no, here we go, I'm gonna fail. Instead, try thinking, all right, good, the power's turning on. That feeling isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's your body giving you the fuel you need to be great. So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. What is it for you? What's the one thing that gets your heart pounding every single time? Because just knowing your trigger, well, that's the very first step toward mastering it.